think it's sad, actually.
Because
the man I'm named after, a legend, has to go against me for one, and then come out as a loser for two.
I could not believe that it's happening, that fifth round, it's 10-8. It was surprising for me, very surprising.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tyson Fury's bold reaction to Mike Tyson coaching Ngannou. You know, Tyson Fury's got a high-profile fight coming up against Francis Ngannou, and there's this ironic twist to the whole thing that's been bothering him. See, Ngannou's being trained by none other than the boxing legend, Mike Tyson himself. And guess what? Mike Tyson's name is the very inspiration behind Tyson Fury's name. In an interview, Fury mentioned the strange coincidence.
I think it's sad, actually.
Because
the man I'm named after, a legend, has to go against me for one, and then come out as a loser for two, having lost when he fought the man he was named after. I think it's sad. And I think he should be in my corner, not the losing corner. But, you know, business is business, and I understand it's strictly business.
He continued,
And no matter what he teaches this fella, no matter how much boxing training he does or whatever, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And I'm not sure who said that, but I know that's true. They've all got plans until they get smacked in the mouth.
But in this situation, Fury's not exactly holding his breath for Mike Tyson to work miracles and transform Ngannou into some kind of unbeatable force. Essentially, he's kind of realistic about it, expecting things to stay pretty much the same. Dustin Poirier's Dublin training session fuels massive fan speculation. Dustin Poirier has been making some waves in Dublin, Ireland this weekend. Why? Well, there's some buzz about him possibly squaring off with Conor McGregor down the road. Do you know how fans can get all excited about potential fights? Now, Poirier had that tough loss to Justin Gaethje not too long ago, and he's on a mission to make a strong comeback. Recently, he even got called out by the former undisputed lightweight champ Rafael dos Anjos. As for McGregor, we all remember the drama from their heated trilogy rubber match. McGregor hasn't stepped back into the octagon from 2021. So right now, Poirier's in Dublin, but not for a face-off or anything like that. At this time, he's there to support and train with his buddy Sabah Homasi, who's fighting at Bellator Dublin. Now fans are wondering after seeing his road work and cardio picture, and thought if Poirier will swing by McGregor's Black Forge Inn pub, or maybe even train with the former champ while he's in town. And of course, some people are already calling for a fourth showdown between Poirier and McGregor. Strickland's KO master reveals Adesanya's fight-ending blunder. Here, people witnessed the victory of Sean Strickland against Israel Adesanya at UFC 293. But there's an interesting perspective from the guy who knocked Strickland out in MMA, Elizeu Zaleski. He is the man who stopped Strickland back at UFC 224 in 2018. Recently, he shared his thoughts on MMA Fighting's Trocacao Franca podcast. Simply, he said that Adesanya ended up paying the price for picking the one strategy that just wouldn't work against someone like Strickland. I saw a very simple game, Zaleski said. Adesanya knocks people out with counters, not attacking. His attacks are to score points. He's dangerous when he's retreating. We saw that against Alex Pereira, Powhatan. And if you go forward against Strickland, that's exactly what he wants. That's what he does best. Adesanya didn't work with angles. He didn't throw hooks. He simply fought where Strickland is good at. There were many ways to win, and one thing he shouldn't do, and that's exactly what he did. He fought where Strickland is good. Zaleski joked that it's always good to see your kids growing up and taking over the world, adding, I cheer for the guys I fight because that ends up elevating me as well. I was rooting for him to win this fight, and it all worked well for him. However, Elizeu Zaleski gets why some people might still see Sean Strickland as the underdog if he were to face Israel Adesanya again, even after that impressive win in Sydney. While Zaleski considers Strickland would have the upper hand against quite a few of the top middleweights in the UFC, like Robert Whittaker. Whereas Zaleski seems to think Strickland's got what it takes to come out on top in that matchup. Undoubtedly, it's all about those fight predictions and styles. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content. UFC's Rematch Bias, exposed by Aljamain Sterling. Surprisingly, Aljamain Sterling is pushing for that immediate rematch with Sean O'Malley, and he's not holding back. He recently dropped a video on his YouTube channel where he pointed to Israel Adesanya's recent loss and all the talk about Stylebender getting a shot at an immediate rematch. "If we're going to talk about giving instant rematches," Sterling said, "you give a guy who lost 2 fights in the same title reign, so he won the belt, he lost, beat the guy, and then came back and lost again to another guy. So it's like, how are you giving him another title shot?" He added, "I'm not knocking Izzy," Sterling added. "Izzy, if they give you the title shot, brother, take that S and run. But what I'm saying is, how do you get it and I don't? If the fans, Dana, whoever can justify that to me, I could be like, I can see the point. But I don't see the point." So, my fight friend, when it comes to why Israel Adesanya might get an immediate rematch and Aljamain Sterling might not, it's all about popularity and selling power. Adesanya is a megastar in the UFC, while Sterling isn't quite at that level. You know the saying, if it makes dollars, it makes sense? And unfortunately for Funkmaster, he doesn't bring in the big bucks like Izzy does. However, it is a perfect example when Sterling seemed to shoot down the idea of fighting Sean O'Malley in December, which is exactly when Sugar wants to have his first title defense. It's a complex mix of popularity, attitude, and timing that plays into these decisions in the fight game. Even that, honestly, it wouldn't even be unless there was some payday incentive or something else on top of that that would make me be like, "All right, I'm gonna chill out on the vacation and stop everything and go back to the gym," he said. Honestly, it doesn't seem like Sterling is sitting at the very top of the UFC's priority list at the moment. Now, there are fighters ranked higher than Cheeto who are itching to get in there. But you know what it's all about in the end, making that money. So when you think about it from a business perspective, it makes sense to go for the fight that's going to bring in the big bucks. Valentina Shevchenko's unbelievable UFC score. Last, but not least, Valentina Shevchenko isn't taking her recent fight results lightly. On the other hand, most people thought a 48-47 score in favor of either fighter would be fair, and 2 of the judges agreed with that. But then there's this judge, Mike Bell. In simple words, he turned in a 47-47 scorecard, and it all hinged on him. He gave Shevchenko a 10-8 for her performance in the final round against Grasso, which ultimately led to the fight ending in a draw. However, in that last round, Grasso was in control and had Shevchenko in some tight spots. But Shevchenko managed to hang on and thought she'd done enough in the earlier part of that round to secure the win. After that moment, when she saw that 10-8 score against her, she was pretty surprised. Valentina Shevchenko is expressing her disbelief and frustration about the judge's decision to score the final round of her fight with Alexa Grasso a 10-8 in Grasso's favor. Even though she also mentions that many fighters experience frustration with judging decisions like this, and she hopes that there will be changes or improvements in the judging system. Despite her frustration, she acknowledges that the official decision is what it is, and in this case, it was a draw, not a loss, but also not the victory she had hoped for.
I could not believe that it's happening, that 5th round it's 10-8. It was surprising for me, very surprising. I feel that to give at 10-8, you have to be very sure that it is 10-8. But it was not our case. It's kind of like was not even close to 10-8. And yeah, I hope it's gonna change, but I know many fighters go through the same frustration when it's kind of like that way, but you cannot do nothing. The official decision, it's official decision. As I mentioned, it's a draw, it's not a loss, but in my case, it's not a victory.
Next, Valentina Shevchenko's now got a record of 0-1-1 against Grasso, and it might be about a trilogy to happen. Well, Shevchenko mentioned that she broke her thumb during the fight, so she wants to make sure she's back to 100% before making any decisions about what comes next. All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, goodbye.